how do you analyze an investment property in 2023 to make sure that you're going to hit cash flow positivity, aka it's going to generate cash flow, which is most important, and that you're getting a good deal that will meet your investment goals. I should do that YouTube thing where I'm like, subscribe, share with a friend, anything. I want to show you guys exactly how, if we're on Zillow looking for duplexes in Atlanta, Georgia, or Austin, Texas, or wherever it would be, how would we go about finding those, okay? So I'm going to come here to Atlanta, and then I'm going to come down to keywords, and I'm going to search duplex. And let's see if we can find any duplexes that way. Okay, it looks like we got one that just hit the market right here. And again, guys, I'm not really a fan of buying on market deals. I got a whole video, I'll link it up here in the top right, of how to find off market deals. But I just like to do on market deals because they're easy to analyze when we're doing this kind of video. This would be the same process if you were hunting an off market deal, you talk to a seller and you wanted to analyze that kind of deal. We're just doing this because this is easy. It's public information, so I can make a video about it, right? So here we go. We got this right here at 38 Bates Avenue, Southeast in Atlanta. It's a duplex. And let's just read about this thing, okay? Rare opportunity to own a historic duplex. Both brick, 1 bedroom, 1 bath units, include classic details. Perfect. So we got a 1-1 on 2 different sites. That's all we need to know right now. Let's go over here and open up my property stats. So once we're in my property stats, I'm going to come over here and we're just going to analyze a deal from scratch together. If you guys want to get on my property stats, it's my software platform I built because it's what I use every single day with me and my acquisition team. Very easy to use. You could get in at super low rates, $29 a month, well worth the investment to make sure you're getting in a good investment, okay? Go to mypropertystats.com if you want to check it out. So here's how we're going to do it, okay? We're going to call this the Bates Avenue Duplex. And inside of here, I've given it where you can give it a lot of information. You don't have to give the system all the information. I'll show you what we need to do. $515,000 is the asking price, okay? It's got 2 units. And this is a residential property. And because it's a residential property, 1, 2, 3, 4 units is in single family house, duplex, triplex, quadplex, we're going to use a fair market value. Now, let's just assume that $515,000 is the fair market value. I've got another video, which again, I'll link in the top right, of how to actually find what the fair market value of a property is. But hint, hint, big hint, it's not always, the asking price is not equivalent to the fair market value price, right? This property could really be worth $400,000 and the owner's out of their mind and they're asking $515,000 because that's the kind of market we're in. So anyways, and we got to give it a rate of increase, AKA how much is the property value going to increase a year? I like to use 2%. It's gone up more than that. I like to analyze conservatively. So this is step 1. What we're doing is just the purchase information, as in how many units does it have, how much are we buying it for, and how are we financing it, okay? So the next step, let's say we get a 20% down loan, that'd be an 80% LTV, which would mean we borrow $412,000, and let's say we get a 6.5% interest rate, is the good interest rate in the market today for 360 months. That's 30 years. So that brings us to a payment of $2,604. And if you want to see how that goes down over time, my property stats will do that for you right there. Now let's talk about improvements. This property looks pretty good, so I'm going to say it doesn't need any improvements. How about closing costs? I generally like to do at least 2% of closing of the purchase price and closing costs. So 2% of $500,000 will be $10,000. And if we scroll here at the bottom, it's going to show us we need $113,000 to buy this. It says the total value is $515,000. The closing costs are $10,000. That gives us a total cost of this deal of $525,000. And then we're borrowing $412,000. So the difference is the down payment we need to bring to the table, $113,000. Okay, that's step 1, done. Can do it in a snap. Step 2 is let's look at the income. So it's both 1 bedroom, 1 baths, right? Both 1 bedroom, 1 baths. So if they were different, then I would have 2 different unit types. I would have, if I had a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and on the other side I had a 3 bed, 2 bath, I would create 2 different unit types. But because these are the same unit types, as in 1 bed, 1 bath, then I'm just gonna say that we have 1 unit type, but we have 2 of these units. So the 1 bed, 1 bath, we have 2 of them. That's the same thing. Now the next question is, how much will each side rent for? Well, I'm gonna read right here. I'm gonna try to understand, okay, does it tell me what the rents are? No, it actually doesn't even tell me if they're rented out. So I would call the real estate agent to understand if there are tenants in place, which, you know, there's furniture and stuff like that. So I'm going to assume that there's tenants in place, or it could be the owners occupying both sides and they're trying to move out. But here's what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to come to, I'm going to come to rentometer.com, and inside of here, I'm going to enter the address in, and I'm going to tell it that there's 1 bed, 1 bath, and I'm going to ask it to analyze it for me. And it's going to show me that the average rent is $1,775 for this property for a 1 bed, 1 bath in this area. So that means, again, I say I have 2 units in here, $1,775 is the market rent for this deal. Right? That means that we could do $3,550 a month between the two, or $42,000 a year. Sound good? Perfect. That's step 2. There's only 3 steps to this analysis. That is step 2. Step 2 is done. We've analyzed the income. The last is the expenses. Okay. This is going to be a little bit more tricky, but again, really straight to the point once you understand how to do this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Renometer, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to try to understand what the property taxes are on this deal. Okay, how much are the property taxes on this deal? By the way, here's a little hint. You could see that in July, they listed it for $1,650 for rent, and then they removed it 3 days later, probably because it got rented for $1,650. So they rented it a little bit under what we analyzed, $1,775. It's probably why it rented so fast. So if we found that to be true, we just want to come back in here and we want to change that number down. But you can probably rent it for $1,775. Now, the next thing that I want to go through and analyze is the property taxes. So I'm actually going to come to Zillow and view the county website. I'm going to agree to this, and I'm going to come search for the street address, which again is 38 Bates. We'll search right there. Here's the property. Now I'm trying to understand the current values. So you can see here, if we look back on Zillow, it says the tax assessment and the property taxes. Tax assessment and the property taxes. I'm not going to take that at face value from Zillow right here. It says here that the total value is $417,900. $417,900. So I'm going to come back to my property stats, and in the expenses, it's going to ask me what is the assessed value? $417,900. That's how much the government says it's worth, and let's see how much the government is currently charging for this. So we'll do values, and we'll see if they plug in their property tax amount in here. Can't see the actual tax bill in here. So no big deal. This is DeKalb County, Georgia. So I'm going to come here and say pay DeKalb County, Georgia property taxes online. Okay, we're in the property records. We want to go to the tax commissioner. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to say pay property taxes, and then we're going to search this address. I think I got it right, which again is 38 Bates, right? We'll hit search, and let's see what it gets. An error occurred. Let's try it again. Oh no. For some reason, it is not working currently. Let's see if we can go back, find the parcel ID right here, par ID. We'll copy this. We'll come back to the parcel ID, paste this in there, and we'll see if this route is working today. Looks like their system is down. Womp, womp, womp. So that's no good. What we can do is, I would really we'll use 2020. Something's going on. You see how much lower these right here are, how much it's fluctuating. I generally like to use the highest because I think that that's going to be most accurate. And even Zillow's got a little tax calculator right here. Zillow thinks that it's going to be at a 1.1% rate on the 515,000, which is $57.17 a year, which is obviously much higher than the $14.27 a year. So let's go back and let's see the values in 2020. So 2020, they paid $7,296. That's the tax bill. Now let's find the value, which again we can find here in 2020, $372,000. So we're saying here that the property tax are going to go up to $10,000 a year, which is not unreasonable. A 2% tax rate is not unreasonable. It is a $500,000 purchase, so $10,000 is 2%. I would come back here tomorrow, and here we have at the top. the property is down due to a network outage, we're resolving, blah, 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 blah. It'll probably be back up. I would check on this in 2 days, but for the purpose of this video, we're gonna continue. That's how it analyze the taxes, because again, they are gonna go up whenever you purchase the property. Next up is insurance. I'm gonna use what Zillow says right here at $180 a month. And let me get rid of these. So $180 a month, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna plug that in, $180 a month. Now I'm gonna pay a property manager 6%, and I'm gonna do $100 of repairs per unit per month. So again, $100 per unit per month. So that's $200 per month is what I'm gonna analyze. Pest control, we'll plug some pest control money in. Repairs and maintenance, I think of it the same thing. Utilities, now I'm gonna make the tenants pay for utilities unless the property is not set up where I can't do that, in which case I would just raise the rent higher above the market rent and I would find a way to make the money back. But generally they're gonna pay the utilities, but remember, if a tenant turns over, the power and water is gonna go out of their name for a month and into your name as the landlord as you try to show that to new tenants. So I always like to account for 1 month of utilities for the whole year. So let's say 1 month of utilities is $120, I'll plug in $10 a month, which comes out to $120 a year, not a lot of money. Landscaping, again, let's look at the property. It does have some, some shrubbery and stuff that needs to be maintained. We'll call it $100 a month. Accounting, advertising, nothing needed there. So that shows us that we're gonna spend $1,600 a month, $19,000 a year on that, or 47% of our income will go towards expenses. That's step 1, 2, and 3. Obviously a little bit more time on the expenses. I'm just explaining it to you guys once you get the hang of it very quick. Let's view the pro forma, which is where we really understand, is this a good investment or not? So in year 1, if we were to rent this out, we'd have negative $10,000 of cash flow. Year 2, negative $9,000. Here's how we get there. There's a potential gross rent of $42,000. We'll be a little bit vacant, so we'll lose out on $2,000. We'll collect $40,000. We'll spend $19,000 on expenses. It gives us a $21,000 NOI. We got to pay $31,000 a year in debt service, and then we are, after you subtract that out, you get negative $10,000. So it costs you $10,000 a year. Not a great investment at all. We can even see that our IRR almost never becomes positive in any way, shape, or form. Negative cash on cash. This is a very bad deal at $515,000 as an investment property. Okay, so let's go figure out, where would it be a good property? So what I like to do, let's say we're looking to earn 10% cash on cash. That is, for every dollar I put into the property, I earn 10% of that back. For every dollar I put in, I earn 10 cents back per year in cash flow. Okay, so if I put $100,000 into a property, that would mean I make $10,000 a year in cash flow. So let's see how much we could pay. The cool thing about my property stats is once you enter those property taxes in, it changes all of this stuff, the down payment, the loan amount, all of that changes whenever you run this goal C. So 10% in year 1, currently we're earning a negative 8.93. Let's seek this answer. And what it's gonna do right now is it's running a bunch of different calculations to try to figure out how much you can pay for this property to hit your goals. Obviously, we didn't enter anything down here, so we can ignore this, but what is the amount of money we could pay for this deal to hit our goals? Obviously, something has gone wrong. It looks like we cannot compute. And really what it's trying to tell us here is that there isn't really a price in the range of where you could hit your goals. The ability to earn 10% cash on this deal is almost non-existent. It's not gonna be a realistic price in order to make this investment hit those numbers, okay? So maybe we could try a different number. Maybe say, hey, what if I just wanna earn 5% cash on this deal? We can come through, we could seek this answer, see what it's gonna tell us, see if there's any way we can earn 5% on our money. And if we wanted to earn 5%, we'd have to pay $340,000. So 10% almost can't pay any price to hit a 10% cash on cash. 5%, we could pay $340,000, and that just goes to show you this is not a good investment property. Probably because the values are too high compared to the income that it generates. Okay, as a reference, I have a property I bought for $180,000 that was running for $3,000 a month. And so you can see here we're paying $515,000 for a property that rents for a total of $3,500 a month. So paying almost triple, not quite triple, for the same amount of income means it's probably not a great investment. But this is how you would analyze a deal. This is how you'd analyze a duplex in 2023 to understand if it's something worth your time and attention and energy in buying or not. If you like this video, I have a lot of other ones like this. I have it for single family houses. I have it for self-storage units. I have it for multifamily. I have it for retail office strips. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out content like this every week. If you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, Hayden Crabtree. And if you haven't read these books, you need to read these books. I give them away absolutely free, even though they're bestsellers on Amazon. You can get them absolutely free on this YouTube channel for the audiobook, or go to haydencrabtree.com/free book. So with that being said, I hope you learned something. Drop me a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be great.